Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Our homage to the Blessed One, the Worldly One, the Self-Enlightened One. Sankappa ragho purisassa kamo nate kamayani chitrani loke tittanti chitrani tatheva loke atetta dhira vinayantu chandanti. Dear devotees, that is, this stanza is the theme of our today's sermon. I'll explain the English translation of this sermon. Sankappa ragho purisassa kamo. The human being's desire for sensual pleasure is about him being attached to merely a concept or a thought created in his mind. Nate kamayani chitrani loke. Sensual pleasures are not exquisite things in the world. Tittanti chitrani tatheva loke. But exquisite things in the world are present in the world as they are. Atetta dhira vinayantu chanda. However, the wise one destroys the desire towards them. That is the normal translation of this stanza. I'll explain. It's very deep stanza. So, in the end of the sermon, I'll explain this very nicely. But today I'm going to teach you step-by-step path, because this is our starting day. Right. Dear devotees, please think for a moment. We are very lucky to be in here and listen to Dhamma in this time. Because if you think for a moment, so many people are in a competition with the life and the death. I heard each and every second 2 people are dying in the world. So we are very lucky to be without in that category. So, and so many people in having assassinations or having accidents in this very moment. And when we look, suppose we look at the animals world, they are in very bad situation. We think, oh, they are very happy, the birds are living very happily life, but when they singing, the birds singing, but maybe they are singing for their fearfulness. And you cannot, if I talk about animals, you can imagine only the dogs and cats and some pets like that. But as the monks who lives in jungle, we can see there's so many things. The one animal catch another one and eating. They have no any police to complain. They have no any high court. At least they haven't a hospital to get medicines. They are also living very suffer life. And when we look at the hungry ghosts, Peter, those also, first I tell you an example, some comparison. If we get hunger, we cannot eat the sand, because it's not it is not good for us. It is not in our. It's not good for the human. Like that way, the hungry ghosts, they only can eat the ugly things like feces, urine, phlegm, sweat, and so on. and some things comes from sexual organs because of their karma. And when we look at the hell, Lord Buddha had preached in Devadutta Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya. The fire comes from the upside, it touching the downside, down to up, then right to left, left to right, front to bottom, bottom to front. This every side the fire is coming. That the who is in, the one is in hell, he's very scared, and Lord Buddha had preached his skin also burning, his flesh also burning, and smoking his bones, and smoke come out from his bones. But he is not dying because he still has the karma to feel that bad consequences. And then, if you look at this reality of this movement, so many people are in hunger in this very movement. But we are very, very lucky to be like this, with the billion trillions of beings. And Lord Buddha had preached there is 31 realms in one solar system. Those type of millions, billions of solar systems are in the universe, and each and every one have 31 realms, and each and every one have a human's world. That's why Lord Buddha had preached Anamatagang yo bhikkhave sansaro pubbha kotina panyayati avijjanang nivaranaya tanhanang sangyojanaya sandhavitang sansaritam mamang yevatumha kancha. Because you and me are running in this samsara, in this endless samsara, with the blind by the ignorance, and attached with the craving, and I also cannot tell what is the starting point of this samsara, because if this earth getting vanished, another will arise in another places. So many earths in this universe. So each and every one have human worlds according to the Lord Buddha's preachings. So now we are very lucky to listen to the Dhamma in this Buddha Sasana. So you can look at the world closely. There are so many people. Some people are dying in very small times. Because why? They have done some the killing beings in their past lives. Some people's things are broken. Some businesses are vanishing in unexpected times. Because why? They have stolen others' properties in their past lives. And some people's marriages are not good, and some people cannot find their best partner for their life. Because why? They have done the sexual misconduct or the adultery in their past lives. And on the other hand, some people's word is not appreciated by the community, by the society, because why? They have told so many lies in their past lives. And some people are born as a mental disabled person, because why? They have taken intoxicants in their past lives. Each and everything what we are doing, it has a karma. It may be good or bad, according to your work. Then Lord Buddha had preached monks and people, the devotees, do the offerings, do the alms, do donations. Because donations, the alms are a similar word for the for the happiness. Because if you are living any happiness, the cause of this happiness is of your good work in the past. But one day in some suttas, Lord Buddha has mentioned, if you give alms by keeping these 6 great qualities in the mind, this sort of giving alms will be a great merit and will give such a favorable consequences back in return to you. That we call Chalanga Samanagata Dana. Chalanga Samanagata Dana means offering with the 6 qualities. What are those? 3 qualities with your side, the another 3 qualities with the receiver's side. What are the qualities must be in your side? Your side, you should give the dana. You should be happy before giving the dana, and you should be happy while giving the dana, and you should be happy and recall again and again that dana, and you must be feel happiness. Those are the 3 things what want to have in a person who gives the dana. And there is another 3 in the receiver's side. Those are that receiver must be a person who is trying to cease the lust, hatred and the delusion. If you give a dana to this type of person with the 3 qualities of your side, this dana is a dana with 6 great qualities. Then this dana is very it has so many the favorable consequences back in return to you. And our Lord Buddha has mentioned Achintitampi bhavisati chintitampi vinasati. What you expect is not happening. What you are not expected, it is happening. What I can tell, if you expect or not, your black hair will turn to grey. Your straight backbone will bend itself to the front one day. Your health will deteriorate when you get sick. Your youngness will finish off once you get old. Your life will end when you die. And please pay your close attention and try to understand what I am preaching. The people in the world are being led towards decay and the death. They do not last long, just 80 years, 100 years, not 100 years now. Less than 80, less than 70 years. So many people. People in the world are being led towards decay and death. They are not last long. They do not last long. And there is no security for people in this world. They have no help. If you have a help or a protector, if you get sick or some suffer, you can share it with them, but you can't. When you got sickness, you have to feel it in yourself. You cannot share it with others. Then there is no security for people in the world. They have no help. There is nothing in the world that belongs to them. They must leave everything behind one day. If you make money or children and so many things, you can, but in a very small time you have to leave behind everything. The people in the world are not satiated and not satisfied and are slave to craving, slave to desires. Please think about yourself. Each and every person is not satisfied. If we get the billionaire or trillionaire, he also not satisfied with his money. Because all people are enslaved to the craving. Now I'm going to explain you what is karma, what is sensual desires. Again I'll mention what is our theme. Sankappa rago purisassa kamo nate kamayani chitrani loke tittanti chitrani tateva loke atetta dhera vinayantu chanda. The human being's desire for sensual pleasure is about him being attached to merely a concept or a thought created in his mind. Nate kamayani chitrani loke. The sensual pleasures are not exquisite things in the world. Tittanti chitrani tateva loke. But exquisite things in the world are present in the world as they are. Atetta dhera vinayantu chandan. However, the wise one destroy the desire towards them. One by one, I'll explain. Pay your close attention and try to understand what I'm going to preach. In Chula Tanha Sankhya Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya, Lord Buddha has explained what is karma, what is sensual pleasure. Chakku vinyaya rupa itta kanta manapa piya rupa kamupa sanghita. Chakku vinyaya rupa itta kanta manapa piya rupa kamupa sanghita sota vinyaya saddha. Like that way. What that means? The visuals to be seen by eye consciousness, that is agreeable, pleasant, charming, enticing, intend to arouse desires, appropriate to arouse defilements, those type of visuals to be seen by eye consciousness, that we call karma. There is a very important thing behind this sentence. The visuals to be seen by eye consciousness. Chakku vinyaya rupa, not normal visuals. The karma means not normal visuals, the visuals to be seen by eye consciousness. Because those are the deep points in the Dhamma. In Anguttara Nikaya, it has the sutta called Ani Sutta. That means it have some sentence called this. Yetete suttanta tathagata bhasita gambhira gambhiratta lokuttara suneta pati sangyutta tesu bhanyamanesu nasusu sissanti nasotang odahissanti nanva chittam upattape santi, and so on. That means, dear bhikkhus, in future so many people will come. They will not the Tathagata's preachings, what is deep and what have deepest deep ideas, and what is transcendental and lokuttara, and what emphasize the emptiness. They will not listen to those suttas. They will not think about it, and they will not put their ears to these suttas, and they not try to comprehend by deep observative. That is the meaning of that sentence. Nowadays it becomes true. In that sentence also, the explanation of the karma, it says chakku vinyaya rupa, not the normal rupa. The visuals to seen by eye consciousness. I'll explain in later. Then the sounds to heard by the ear consciousness, the smells to be felt by the nose consciousness, the tastes to felt by the tongue consciousness, and the tangibles to be felt by the body consciousness. What are agreeable, pleasant, charming, enticing, intended to arouse desires, appropriate to arouse defilements, those type of visuals, sounds, smells, taste, and tangibles, that means body touches, we can interpret as the karma. But what to be seen by, what to be heard by, what to be felt by the consciousness, not the normal. Those are we call sensual pleasures or karma. Please think for a moment. If you think about your past, you have experienced, enjoyed so many sensual pleasures in your life. Please recall one enjoyment. You can feel these all enjoyments now ceased, like an extinguishing of an oil lamp. It can return back. If you heard a nice sound, nice song, those all things extinguished. And if you get good tangible from some person, it all things get ceased. You cannot return it back. But one thing is passing. What's that? It is the ultimate currency. That is the time. You don't know how much the balance I have. You don't know. You can't return the time if you spend it for something. You cannot save the time to spend when you want. You cannot. And the most dangerous thing is, even all this very moment, the time is slowly passing away. That is the most dangerous thing. I'll tell you an example. Give you some statement. That is, one happiness equals to 7 types of the sufferings. As an example, if you feel to buy a new car, in this time, in this thought, you feel suffer. Oh, I need a new car. Oh, there's a suffer. Then you feel. Then you need to earn money and save the money for buying a new car. Then that is also suffer. And the third one, when you buy the car, then you feel little happiness. But that intent was not in the past. You get that the thought to I want to buy a car. Then you work hard to buy a car. It's like a person who carry on some heavy thing in his backbone and put it in the floor. Then he feels some peace. That also like this. That happiness also, small happiness. And he needs to maintain the car, and he needs to repair it when it's broken. Then you want to protect the car from the robbers, and you need to when the car is broken, that also suffering. So the one happiness equals to 7 types of sufferings. You actually, please turn back to your life and try to understand. You're like a donkey who carrying the goods to his owner for eat some punak, for eat some animal's food at the night from his owner. The whole day he's working for the small food. There is a small happiness there, but so many dukkha he wants to carry on. You're also like that. And suppose if you're in a desert in a very hot area, some cold wind come to you, then you feel to catch this wind from your hands, but you can't do it. When you go to catch it, the wind's passed away. The pleasure also, the pleasant sensations also like this. You can't keep it. It has a small happiness, but it is infertile. There is useless. You cannot control it. You haven't any ownership. And it's like drinking the salt water for the thirst. No matter how many times you drink salt water, your thirst will only keep increasing. Your thirst only keep increasing. The calm was like that. A person who never destroy the thirst by drinking the salt water, like that way, anyone cannot destroy the karma or the desires by again and again enjoy these desires, these sensual pleasures. The thing is to stop the thirst first. Then there's the peace. Then there's the happiness. The past has gone. The future has not come yet. You only have this very moment, this second, this very moment. If you think about the past or future, it is just a thought what arises in this very moment. And if you think about yours as your soul, or a thing is yours, there is just 5 things can get at your things, at yours, as yours. Those are we call in Dhamma 5 clicking aggregates. Panchapadana Kanda. 5 clicking aggregates. First one is your body. What is the first one? What you can think as yourself, as your soul, as your thing, as mind. And the sensations, and the perceptions, and the volitional activities, that means the thinking, and the consciousness. Those are the 5 things you can take as your soul, as your things. But in Anatta Lakkana Sutta, Lord Buddha has preached Rupam Bhikkhave Anatta, Rupancha Hidang Bhikkhave Atta Abhavisa, Naidang Rupang Apadahaya Samvatteya. Because this body is soulless, non-soul. If this body is the soul, it will not trouble you. Then he said, Labbeta cha me rupe, evam me rupam hotu, evam me rupam ma ahositi. Could you expect something happening or non-happening to your body? No, we couldn't. We cannot tell, oh, I'm being so beautiful rather than this. Cannot gain like that. Cannot expect like that. And oh, please, I will not go old. Please keep me as young. You cannot expect like that. If the body is your soul, you can gain like that, but you cannot expect. Because that's why Lord Buddha has preached, this body is not your soul. Now, on the other hand, you can think the sensations are my soul. The pleasant feelings or the unpleasant feelings, or the neither pleasant nor unpleasant feelings, also you can feel as your soul. Oh, the sensation is mine. I am the one who is feeling this sensation. But you cannot control the sensation. If the sensation is your soul, it will not trouble you. You must have to control a power of controlling it, but you couldn't. Why? The sensations is not your soul. If you feel, oh, I want to gain happiness, I want to gain the pleasant feeling, sensation by watching this, by hearing this. When someone's blaming you, if you suppose you expecting a pleasant feeling, but you cannot get a pleasant feeling, you feel unpleasant feeling, because the feeling, the sensation arises with the cause. It's not yours, it's not your soul. Close your eyes and try to comprehend, try to understand what I'm preaching. And you think the third one is perceptions. You can perceiving, oh, that is red color, this is blue color, this is a bag, and this is this shape, like that way. And this speaking English, speaking a speech by Bhante or the Venerable one, like that way you can think. Or you can perceive. But this perceiving also, not your soul. You cannot control it. According to my sound, you feel it's Bhante's sound. You cannot feel it's the sound of Queen of England or the President of USA. You cannot perceive like that. Because why? The perceptions are not yours. It's totally dependent of the causes of it. Then the vocational activity is also same. You feel lust, you feel hatred, you want to live from hatred, you want to feel from lust, but you can't. Because why? Vocational activities are not yours. That's why they trouble you. The normal person always inside like that. He don't try to destroy the lust or hatred. He comprehend it. How? This is not mine. If this mine, I should control it. I shall have a power of controlling. But there is not. So that's why this is also not mine. And the other hand, the consciousness, it also not mine, because if you when someone is blaming you, you can suppose can you expect, or only I can hear my mother's good addressings, the bad addressings and blamings. Please don't hear to me. You cannot get. You can hear what is existing. If the consciousness is yours, you should have a power of controlling this. This please cognized by me. Those are not. But you cannot gain like that. You cannot expect like that. Because why? The consciousness also not yours. So that's why Lord Buddha had preached this Panchapadanakkhandha is anicca, dukkha, anatta. It's impermanent, the cause to suffer, and non-soul. But those are the only things we have to take as our soul, nothing else. But those 5 things are the effects of the causes. The causes also changing, then effects also changing. Then no one can tell there is a soul or there is a spirit in the body. And you know the Shaswata Drishti, the Shaswata Drishti means there is 2 main wrong ideologies, which leads to 62 Mithyaditti, 62 wrong ideologies. Main 2 are, first one, some soul or spirit going to the birth to birth, the existence to existence, some soul is going. Another hand, my soul is vanished after this life. Those are the main wrong ideologies. All 62 ideologies arise from those two. But the person who comprehends this Panchupadana is anatta, those are unsoul, non-soul. His all things going to be ceased, because there is only cause and effect and nothing else. When we talk about the dukkha, the suffering, what is the ignorant? Lord Buddha had preached one time, our bhikkhus, you should kill your mother and father. Who is your mother and father in this samsara? Your father is the ignorance. Your mother is the craving. You should kill both of them. But how we kill both of them? By wisdom, by panya. So, what's called ignorance? Ignorance means avijja. Avijja means dukkhe ajnana, dukkha samudaya ajnana, dukkha nirodhe ajnana, dukkha nirodha ghamini patipadaya ajnana. The unknowing, not knowing of the Four Noble Truths. So, when we talk about the dukkha, the suffering, there is 3 types of dukkhas in the Dhamma. First one is dukkha dukkha, second one is viparinama dukkha, third one is sankhara dukkha. Dukkha dukkha means some normal dukkha, normal suffering, what you feel, what you have to face in your day-to-day life. Some people are dying, you get sick, some people blame you, or something like that. And the second one is viparinama dukkha. Viparinama dukkha means dukkha what creates by changing things. Small things are changing. Your loved ones are changing little. Then you feel dukkha. A quantity of an aggregate of this viparinama dukkha equals to dukkha, normal dukkha. So the most important one is the third explanation of the dukkha, that is sankhara dukkha. Sankhara dukkha means the preparations also a dukkha. Preparations also suffering. Preparations of the mind are suffering. Suppose I'll give you an example for this sankhara dukkha. Wait, I'll explain later the stanzas that gatha, stanza, the meaning. Those all things need to know to comprehend the meaning of that stanza. So please pay a close attention and try to understand what I'm preaching. Now you can hear my voice. You are hearing my voice, but the ignorant mind conceives that there is an independent ear and an independent Venerable One, or the Bhante, that exist. Independent from each other, rather than taking as just a sense of hearing or conceiving, or consciousness. So I'll tell it again. Now you can hear my sound, but the ignorant mind conceives that there is an independent ear and an independent Bhante that exist, independent from each other, rather than taking this just a sense of hearing or consciousness. You can hear my sound, but there is just a consciousness. Please pay a close attention and try to insight your mind by your mind. Insight your mind through the mind. Then you can see what I'm telling. just a consciousness there. When you hear my sound, when you're hearing my sound. But the ignorant mind showing a duality. Oh, I cognize this or not. There is an independent duality is existing. But actually, that duality creates after arise of the consciousness of hearing. But the actual, this very moment is just a consciousness. The all preparations is going to past and future. But there was no duality as an independent bhante, an independent ear before you heard that sound. But after hearing that sound only, your mind creates the duality, the Venerable One's sound and the one who is listening. When the mind conceives the duality rather than just a consciousness, creates fatigue, heaviness and restlessness in the mind, inside the mind. Again I will say, when the mind conceives this duality, world and me, sound and ear, the bhante sound and the one who is listening, the wall and the one who's looking, the computer or the phone and ones who's seeing. When the mind conceives this duality rather than just a consciousness, it creates fatigue in your mind. It creates the heaviness inside the mind. It creates restlessness in the mind. All this running, the society running starts from these preparations of the mind. But the actual thing is, in this very moment, there is just consciousness. If you thought, oh, I want to do such type of things, I have children, I have a family, I have a job, I have a business, those all things are also just a consciousness in the mind. Just a consciousness. Can give a little explanation. It's a mind consciousness, but the mind consciousness, the saying that mind consciousness also a preparation of a mind, a thought. But the actual thing is just a consciousness, just a consciousness. I reckon you can understand. The deeper mean, then what is the cause of suffering? The deeper meaning of the cause of suffering is craving. The deeper meaning of this is that as a work of craving, it leads the mind to create this duality, world and me. As a work of craving, because this ignorance, the craving has a support, encouragement to take this duality. Because if we want to stay in this very moment or without ignorance, you should want a very high effort and very high mindfulness and a concentration. But craving do not like that. It encourages you to take the duality, take the ignorance. That's why Lord Buddha had given three degrees, three diplomas for the craving. What are those? Yayan Tantha, Pono Bhavika, Nandi Raga Sahagata, Tatra Tatra Vinandini. Pono Bhavika. It creates the existence to existence. Yayan Pono Bhavika. 1 second to 1 second. It shows, oh, world and me. I am existing in a real world. Suppose If you're a robot, is there a robot who has a that called the artificial intelligence, who has an artificial intelligence? This robot can see the world, hear the sounds, and can talk. Then he can think, he can conceive, oh, there is a world really existing. This should be correct or not, but as an experience of the robot, it is just a data what creates in his mind, in his programming. It's just a data. That's why when people asking the 4 triangle questions from the Lord Buddha, is worlds exist? He said, no, the question is wrong. Then they again ask, isn't the world exist? He said the question is wrong. The either world exist or no exist. Then this is also wrong. Go. Then again ask, neither world exist, no none exist. This question also wrong, like that way. But the preparations are preparating. Dukkhaṃ eva uppajjati, dukkhaṃ eva nirujjati. The suffering is arising, the suffering is ceasing in this very moment. So no one cannot take it as a real world, because the robot, the world is just a data what creates in his own programming, on his mechanism. So that's what Lord Buddha had mentioned to us also. The Arahant is living only in this very moment, not in the past, not in the future. This very moment is what? The stilling of all preparations. What is the explanation of the Nibbana? Etang samtam, etam panetang, yadidang sabba sankhara samato, sabbupatipati nisaggo, tanhaggayo, virago, nirodho, nibbana. This is peaceful, this is excellent, namely the stilling of all preparations, the relinquishment of all assets, the destruction of craving, detachment, cessation, extinction. What is the stilling of all preparations? No any preparations of the mind in this very moment, just a consciousness. Relinquishment of all assets. What are the assets? The body, sensations, perceptions, visual activities, and consciousness. Those are the only things we can take as ours, take as our things, our soul. But if we relinquish all these assets, there is nothing to take as our soul. The destruction of the craving. There is no any encouragement to take the ignorance, take the duality. He's just living in this very moment. So that's what I need to explain. This very moment is just a consciousness. As a work of consciousness, ignorant mind creates you a duality called world and me, or sound and ear, or sound and ear, and visual and eye, the body and tangibles. It may be true or not, but as your experience, it is just a consciousness. As your experience, the conceiving about the world and me, or I and visual, is a preparation of the mind. It's true or not. Then what is the Four Noble Truths in the deeper manner? Dukkha is the preparating. The cause of suffering is encouraging to take this duality. The cessation of suffering is stop this craving to encourage this. And what is the way to cease the suffering? Listen this Dhamma from the noble person and try to be moral and live with a good livelihood and do more effort to be right mindful with the right mindfulness and make your mind to right concentration. Then your comprehension. When you listen the correct noble Dhamma in first time, then your understanding becomes more and more high. Then when you get anagami, non-returner, then your lust and hatred 100% ceased. Then just have the small delusion, like, oh, somewhere I am like that. There's asmimana, that means asmimana means that conceiving about me, conceiving about I, little have with the anagami person. So that also he sees, then he's become an arahant. How we become an arahant? Lord Buddha had preached, Rupam pismi nibbintati, rupasmimpi nibbintati. He's detached, he's detached to the, he feels ugly, he feels disgusting about the rupa, he feels disgusting about the sensations, he feels disgusting about the perceptions, and he feels disgusting about the volitional activities, and he feels disgusting about the consciousness. Then nibbitang virajyati. When he feels disgusting, he feels virajyati. Virajyati means detachment. He's not attaching to the body, sensations or preparations or volitional activities or consciousness. He has separated from the world. Now, nibbitang virajyati. Viraga vimuchyati. The one who detached, then he is liberated. Viraga vimuchyati. Vimuttasmi vimuttimiti jnanam hoti. When he liberated, then he got a knowledge. Oh, I am liberated. I am now free. How's that knowledge? Kina jati. Oh, my birth is ceased. Usitam brahmacharya. My moral livelihood is finished. Katan karaniya. My work has done. My work have done. Na parangitattati pajara. There is nothing to do again, anything else. To be free from this samsara and free from the suffering, beyond the suffering. Now we can go to our stanza explanation. Again, what is our theme? I'll again explain you. Sankappa rago purisasa kamo nate kamayani chitrani loke. Tittanti chitrani tateva loke atitta dhira vinayantu chanta. Sankappa rago purisasa kamo. The human being's desire for sensual pleasures is about him being attached to merely a concept or a thought created in his mind. Sankappa means a concept or a thought. Rago means the desire. Sankappa rago. Purisasa means the human beings. Purisasa kamo. Kamo means the sensual pleasure. So the human being's desire to sensual pleasure is just a concept or a thought what creates in his mind. Nate kamayani chitrani loke. The sensual pleasures are not exquisite things in the world. Because why? What's called sensual pleasures? Chakku vinyaya rupa, sota vinyaya saddha. That means the visuals to be seen by eye consciousness. The hearings to be heard by ear consciousness. Not the actual ones. We are feeling reflections. I'll give an example. When you look at a film, a movie, you are living in the dark area. You are in ignorance. Then you feel, oh, this is really happening there. But when the lights come, this whole film got destroyed. Like that way, the light is the wisdom. Wisdom sees all the ignorance. So another thing, I'll explain another comparison. There is a bridge. One dog is walking on the bridge. Then it went to the river, and look at his face, and the dog is thinking, I can see because I look. So I can look because it's existing. Because that means I can see because it is existing. That is the normal thought of the dog. The dog may be dog thinking, oh, there is another dog in the water. So so sometimes he be happy, sometimes be angry, sometimes nothing. But the actual thing is happening there. What is? A dog's thinking is the actual thing I can see. There's a looking, so I can see. But the actual thing, listen carefully, actual thing is he can look, he can see because of his looks. He can sees because he is looking. Because he looks. Not he can look because of seeing. Can you understand? Because he's taking actual thing is in actual reflection. That means how can I explain? I'll tell again. The dog thinking, I can see because it's existing. But the actual thing is because of his looking, then he can see his reflection. Like that way, the all things reflecting in the mind. But ignorant person don't know this thing. And to be a slave to the sensual pleasures and go through those. Then Sankhaparago Purisasa Kama. Again, this attachment to a thought or concept is a human being's desire. Nate kamayani chitrani loke. These sensual pleasures are not exquisite things in the world. And the most important and deep thing is, but exquisite things in the world are present in the world as they are. Tittanti chitrani tateva loke. The world is that things are existing as they are. That means if you look at some beautiful flower, this flower is it is existing as it is, but your ignorant mind thinking, you just feel this visual by the eye consciousness. It's just a consciousness. You not enjoy the you can, when you catch the flower to our eyes, it's just a consciousness. Just consciousness. But then you feel concepts and thoughts. Oh, this flower, get a perception. Oh, it's very nice. It's a rose flower. Or its smell is good. I can give it to the Lord Buddha. Or I can give it to my loved one. Or something like that. You can think. Then it creates in the you in the karma. But the exquisite things are existing as they are, present in the world as they are. But your desire is just attachment to your concept, to your thought. Nate kamayani chitrani loke. Concepts in your mind are not exquisite things in the world. Can you understand? Again, I will explain. When you look at the flower, The flower is present in the world as it is. But the desire to the flower, it arises in your mind. It arises in your mind. Then your concepts and thoughts, desirable concepts and thoughts in your mind is not exquisite things in the world. It is just a thought, it's just a consciousness. So, atetta dhira vinayatu chantam. However, the wise one destroys the desire towards them. The wise one, what he's doing, he destroys the desire towards them. Because he knows the all things just a consciousness. I cannot catch them. They is not under my control. So I want to leave behind all of them. Because those are infertile, those are useless. Anything will not help me to beyond the suffering. This living just good, but you don't know how will be our next births. No one, no any protector. So best thing is get rid from this samsara. Be enlightened. So I bless you all to feel the fearfulness of the samsara and do more effort to be mindful and attain the Nibbana as soon as possible in this very life. Okay.